Hello, my name is Emmanuel Appiah. I am a junior currently studying at Hobart and William Smith Colleges in upstate New York. I am a computer science major with a data analysis minor. My research focuses on the correlation between collision frequency and severity in conjunction to a zip code's wealth. My initial assumption was that as a zip code's wealth increases, the frequency and severity of crashes decrease. This assumption was based on the fact that I expected high-income zip codes to have the resources and education to mitigate these collisions. However, as my research progressed, this assumption proved incomplete due to several critical factors that revealed unexpected patterns. For this analysis, I combined data from the New York City Department of Transportation Collision Dataset and the U.S. Census Bureau's median income data by zip code. After cleaning and standardizing the data, including removing null zip codes and filtering for 2024, my dataset contained around 65,000 records that I would analyze for patterns between income levels and collision statistics. After collecting and processing the data, I created several visualizations to help understand the relationship between income levels and collision patterns. The first visualization maps crashes and injuries against household income. The scatter plot reveals an interesting pattern in the relationship between wealth and collision frequency. As we observe, higher income areas tend to show a lower concentration of incidents. Building upon the patterns shown in the first visualization, I created a more detailed plot to examine these relationships further. On the left axis, we have collision count and injury count, shown by the gray bars and the blue line, respectively. The right axis displays deaths represented by the red line. The y-axis categorizes different income brackets ranging from low income to elite income. This visualization reveals an interesting pattern. There's almost a perfect one-to-one relationship between collisions and injuries, suggesting that most crashes result in some form of injury. But what's really interesting is that all three metrics, collision, injuries, and deaths, show an upward trend as income increases, but reach a plateau around the high income mark before declining. To better account for population differences and better understand the true relationship between income and collision patterns, I created a normalized plot. This visualization adjusts the collision, injury, and death rate per 100,000 households, providing a more accurate comparison across income brackets. A few things stood out to me with this specific plot. Collision rates are now nearly linear in that as we increase in income, collision is relatively linear. 2, death rates diverge from collision rates, decreasing sharply in high income areas. So unlike the previous plots where death was closely correlated to income, correlated to crashes and injuries, with this normalized plot, we see that death does not really have a relationship between injuries and collision occurrences. And what's really interesting is that in the elite income, it's virtually non-existent in the sense that no one really dies from having crashes, although the elite income accounts for most of the crashes. The third thing I noticed was injury rates track closely to collision rates, similar to the initial analysis, but veer off when we reach very high income. By controlling for the number of households in each income bracket, we can see more clearly how wealth correlates with traffic incidents. In terms of recommendations, I think first and foremost, more research needs to be invested in high-income neighborhoods to gain a better understanding as to why they have such low death rates compared to their relatively high collision rates. But some practical solutions would be to implement improved road infrastructure in lower income areas, and enhance emergency response capabilities to match closely to those in wealthier neighborhoods. Another recommendation would be to develop programs to help lower income residents have access to safer vehicles and to partner with auto manufacturers for more safety features within vehicles. And lastly, I would recommend we take a more data-driven approach by allocating resources based on fatality risk rather than collision frequency. In conclusion, this research challenged my initial assumptions about the relationship between wealth and traffic safety. The data shows that while wealthier areas may experience more collisions, they tend to experience fewer fatalities, potentially suggesting that the quality of infrastructure, vehicles, and possibly emergency response services may play a crucial role in determining the outcome of a crash. Thank you all so much for listening to this research presentation, and I hope you all have a great day.